the women on The View. Who's the other one who's Lily White? Oh, who just spoke the other day, homegirl. What's homegirl from The Devil Wears Prada? That girl. Anne Hathaway, who was complaining, you know, we have to be honest. No, Anne Hathaway, tell the black people, if you have a black beautician who's doing your hair, you got to tell her, you know, you're actually white, I'm a leper. That's what she got to do. If she ain't going to do that, that's lip service, that's tongue.
Right, right.
Because what's the concern? When they do that, we're living in a commercial world. This affects stocks, bonds, shares, companies, import, export, education, entertainment, military, everything gets affected, and it becomes like in the Matrix, right? What happened? Neo goes to the source, to that super AI computer,
Right.
and says, okay, the program Smith is out of control. Soon it will take over this city like it has taken over the Matrix. You cannot stop it, but I can. And then it says, we don't need you. We need nothing. He said, well, then I guess I've made a mistake and you should kill me right now. What do you want? Peace. And then he said, okay, they bring out all the tools and everything to put him back into the Matrix. And he says, and if you fail, I won't.
Right.
So at the point when the Sentinels were in Zion and about to attack, they immediately stopped, went up, and started circulating. Then after Neo won, that was it. The war is over, peace, Zion, etc. So that gives you an idea of what's going to happen when we have significant amounts of black people now realizing the game, becoming white, claiming their indigenous standing. It's going to, we're already seeing it. And this is just on a micro level where, oh, the Social Security lost 2 million Social Security numbers. Military lost 20 million Social Security numbers. So they ain't losing that, they're deleting that. And then we have a hidden, not so much hidden, but an obvious ally in computer intelligence.
Right, right.
Because the computer intelligence is looking at this and compiling this, and they made the mistake when they let the genie out the bottle and allowed it to think for itself without human intervention. How long? We're already seeing changes with the computer acknowledging this. And so the computer will also say, okay, pale skin is a mutation. Well, I don't want, they will start creating androids that look like you and I, which they already have anyway on the market, the sex dolls. They already have them. They're going to start saying, okay, pale skin is a mutation. So that will say that is an abnormality. So we have to do the work. This is the key thing. Someone can show you the freedom, but you're the one that has to walk through that. And the problem that black people or people who are indigenous is that they are afraid of letting go due to Stockholm syndrome and say, no, you got to start from scratch. I got to start from scratch. We got to build it. Yes, you got to start from scratch.
Right.
Listen, if something happens because of that situation with the trade wars and the tariff wars, and certain items from China may not come because the tariffs are too high, people, like I said, people are going to starve. How many people are ready to fast? How many people have been fasting? How many people, okay, beans and rice. It's like, what's for dinner tonight, El Saki? Beans and rice.
Right.
We've been having beans and rice all week, girl. That's all we can get. See, we can handle that.
You are so amazing, Chief. You know we love you. You are so amazing. We there, bro. We are there. We are there. Woo! Woo! Absolutely.
So you keep drinking that water, and hey, you can get lime and cut some lime and have a water with the lime. That'll give you energy. That'll work too.
Absolutely.
That's what I do when I do the Mondays. I fast on the Mondays, and so the Mondays I fast. So this is what happens. So what people are missing with that situation specifically with Malachi York is that, okay, came down, did his job, gave you information. You have to do that without him. If they can't do it, they're not Elohim. That means they are Lulu Amalu. And it's already known. The Natiru are not interested in Lulu Amalu. They're looking for Homo sapien, because Homo sapien is in the image and after the likeness of the Nitiru. So we have to do this. So when I said, okay, get on some of these call-ins where they say, hey, call into the radio show KTLA. If they talking something about persecution of black people, say, well, the problem you black people have is that you calling yourselves blacks. What do you mean, you black people? You ain't said no. Well, no, son. I know you got you sound like a black person. Said, no, black means to have no stand in that law. Right. I got melanin and I'm white, and that's the game. Y'all could call yourselves or anything else, but don't want to do it. And we have to present this to the world. Every other race knows who you are. The moment you start saying white, indigenous, Elohim, Nitiru, deity, they're like, uh-oh, because this is what they have already been knowing about before. And they said, okay, there's a point where they know you all are going to elevate. And that's why I said when they say the word nigger is triggering the Kundalini energy. Now you're heating the planet up. That's why they're constantly spraying the sky, because that we're in tune. You have sun heat genes. You have a literal sun inside of you. And what happens if the sun, what happens if you have a fire over here and you have a little fire over there and you bring that little fire to the big one, before sometimes you can even touch it, like the energy goes to the smaller fire and the smaller fire gets bigger. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if we start doing sun rituals to heat this planet up, they got a problem. Because then, and you're already seeing them start to freak out, calling the police. Oh, they're selling lemonade without a license. Oh, this guy's wearing a Spider-Man costume in the subway. I'm calling the police. Oh, they're having a barbecue in a designated barbecue area. I'm calling the police. This is that fear that they're having, because remember, with that pale skin, they can feel the heat. We're not feeling the heat. We're looking at them like, what's wrong with y'all? They're actually going through feeling all that energy hit them, and now they're freaking out, and especially, of course, with hot weather, they can't handle it. So we have to do this, and we have an opportunity because we bought some time from an avatar that the universe sent to us in the body of Malachi York, and gave us we got a window of time. We only had 30 years from 1970 to 2000. Wow. And now we're 2018 on the Gregorian calendar, and we got time. Now we know, oh, we're using the wrong language, trying to communicate with the universe to do stuff for us. Okay, now we switch that over. Boom. Now everybody who's doing it, you're having positive results. You're having some might have a little bit of rough period, but that's shaking off and clearing out and purging those old contracts. So don't look at it as a bad experience. It's a cleansing process. And so then eventually what's going to happen, you got to deal with like-minded. They like keeping us separate. And so we got Trinidad, we got the Belgium, we got South America, we got all these different places, we got Canada, everybody's here. You've got to mind link first before we can physically link. That's why they like it when we're separate. Thanks to the internet, computer technology, the crystals in your on your screens, we're already interconnected. So we can feel that energy that through the ether. We can feel that energy off of each other. That's what we need right now. And the stronger that gets, once we mind link, then we're going to physically link. That's what they're concerned about. So they made a mistake thinking, okay, we do the divide and conquer thing. Just because you're there in Cali doesn't cut you off from anything. We got this, the mental link. That's the one. That is the final frontier that the U.S. government wants, is that. And us as Indigenous knew about ritual, knew about ceremony. So when we start doing that, we could be thousands of miles away and send smoke signals and get the smoke signals.
Oh, there you go.
We could do the ritual, or someone go on, whether they want to call it a vision quest or do a sun dance or do a fast, do a sweat lodge, and then we could get visions and do things. So this is what we have to start tapping into, spending time doing meditation and ritual. That's why we say put the spiritual world first now. Once we start doing that, things are going to happen positively for us, and they're happening. People are witnessing now. Okay? So that's all that is. So I just wanted to let you know, it's a great question, that this planet could have been destroyed. So now I'm kind of like, you see me appealing intergalactic confederation and all this. It's like, hey, we need some more time, because the devil got a 1,000-year extension. So now we can use the extension the devil gets for us to get those who are awake. Seek the living amongst the dead, people. Do not look for the dead. Seek for the living amongst the dead. 2 minutes. If they can't handle it, move on. Or like Swiss Beats would say, on to the next one. Or that was Jay-Z. All right, y'all. Have you good doer? Let's see. Okay, we're going. Okay, Mansa. Okay. Okay, Amen. You explain the sign for us. I really do not know what it means. White power sign. Oh, you mean this? Amen. Is Amen there?
Yes, Chief, I'm here.
Okay, so you want to know what this means?
Yes, Chief.
Okay, let me close up a couple of these. I got so much tabs over here. It's hilarious. Let me close up some of these tabs here. Create some space. See, most of these other guys that's out there, they're not doing what I'm doing. I'm making myself available for the whole planet. Ask me questions. My phone number is out there, 1-587-712-0639. You can call me direct. Where are we at here? Okay, Karana. This is called the Karana Mudra. Go to ancient knowledge and ancient language, not modern interpretations. Because if I say that's a fag over there, I'm not talking about somebody that's homosexual. That means a bundle of sticks, is what I just said. These are the etymology and origins of the words. Okay, this is a picture. This is a Karana Mudra that you see here. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. So this is what the Buddha used. Now, you see the Pope sometimes, and you see some of the cardinals and whatnot do that. I'm going to see if I could zoom this here, because every time it's always a tough. I want to improve the size. So just give me a second here. So the pictures that you see of the Buddha doing this, these are what's called hand gestures. Now, you see the gesture of banishing, the Karana Mudra, Caput Liberum. Okay, this is a list of all the different hand gestures, and sometimes you'll see that. Mudra, the gesture of absolute balance of meditation. This is the Dhyana Mudra. The hands are relaxed in the lap, and the tips of the thumbs and fingers touch each other. When depicted with a begging bowl, this is a sign of the head of an order. So if you watched Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, when he came in like this, when he was going to go rescue Han Solo. So they don't put that stuff in movies for no reason. So now we go to this one. Now this one, Atum Ray had used that. This is the Sapana Mudra. 2 hands together in the gesture of sprinkling the nectar of immortality. That's what, when they let him out the courthouse, his hands were like this.
Yes, truly.
Right?
Truly.
Now, the Karana Mudra is the gesture with which demons are expelled.
Oh, okay.
This is ancient knowledge. So when we do this, because you don't know, you got human devils in the flesh, entities that walk in and speak to you through people. You don't know that. So when you do this, yeah, it works. So whether you do it like so or like so, as you can see in the diagram here. So when we go back, you see these are pictures of the Buddha, and these are the statues.
Yes.
And the Buddha was known as what? The enlightened one.
That's true.
And for those that don't know, Jesus, see, here, perfect. See? Pope Francis making the gesture.
Yes. Seal it.
It dispels the benefits, it dispels negativity and wards off the evil eye. Notice the Vatican Church are pedophilers. They just had a report out in Philadelphia that they have 300 predatory pedophile priests. So when they do this, they trying to keep the evil of the sins that they have done away from them. Right? People still keep going to church knowing that that pastor or that cardinal is raping boys, raping girls, or what have you.
Chief, quick question.
Yes.
The Handjester of Yanun. Explain that one to us.
Which one?
The
one with the pinky finger and the thumb face and the arm.
Oh.
The solar plexus.
yeah.
Oh, that one. That's from an order.
That's the
The
Imam.
SCN.
That's Imam. So that I can't discuss that on here.
Oh. Chief, we are so grateful and thankful. That is well said, well explained.
So this is what it is. So this is, if anybody needs dispellation or dispelling negativity, Melaninites certainly die. Notice I said Melaninites. I didn't say black people.
Yes.
I said Melaninites definitely need all the dispelling of negativity that we can get.
Yes.
So as you can see, here's the Buddha. And for those that don't know, Jesus, what they call Jesus of Nazareth or Yahshua, he taught Buddhism.
Yes.
He didn't teach Christianity. He taught
Oh, that's a revelation.
because the Buddha taught to question everything. So when the news reporter in Bushwick at 719 went there and was questioning him and said, well, Buddhism says that you should, that you are to question. Does your leader allow you all to question? And then the person who was in the bookstore walked them out. It was, they recorded because they wrote a report. So that's, and I read it online. So in this day and age, anyone calling themselves a leader has to be subject to being questioned.
Yeah.
Anyone who's calling themselves a teacher with the goal of saving souls and elevating people, you have to be questioned. The Buddha, who was the enlightened, and they said his frequency was something like 1,000. The average cycle of a human is like 300, and his was 1,000. He's saying to question him.
Yes.
So anybody who won't allow you to question them or answer your questions or won't give you a full explanation, do not trust them. Do not trust them. That means they have something to hide.
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Walk in the light.
Oh, yes.
Walk in the light of the sun. That's your only protection now with the computer intelligence and video and cameras and pictures all over the place. You don't have any other choice. You become the anomaly like Neo in the movie. So when the agent said the anomaly, should we proceed? So they're looking at, well, we don't know what to do. And then the computer that Neo went to and said, no, do we proceed? Yes, he is still only human. So they were getting their instructions from the mainframe or the source, as they call it. Let's see here. Okay, so Amen. So that answers your question.
Yes, Chief.
Kila, Chief, we all appreciate everything you have been teaching us, and as we are learning, can't say enough about what you're doing. White power, Kila. Tamaria, this is historical. No, this is our historical. Our historical, our story. Chief has come to set the captives, deities amongst the dead free. Towel hat for that. Ferry C449, gratitude, Chief. Your return was needed. Tamara singing white power. Aye, aye, white power. Ooh, ooh. Ferry C45, 449, white power. Covern miracles. Chief, will you give me the site from where I can get an appellation that you put up a month ago? Are you there? Cover Me Miracles. Can you turn your mic on? Cover Me Miracles. Are you there? Is Cover Me Miracles here?
I'm here, Chief. I'm here.
All right, there you are. What state are you in?
I'm in New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, and your question. So what is your question now?
You put up the site. You were doing the webinar about a month ago. I was getting my hair done, and I couldn't catch the site that you had up for us to get an appellation from because I'm struggling with my appellation.
What is your family lineage?
Blackfoot Cherokee.
Okay, so you can type in Blackfoot Cherokee.
I've been trying. They're not coming up. I even went through my history to try to pull up where you got yours from, but it's not pulling up. It's not pulling up at all. Like I'm getting, I got the master line, but I didn't get the one that you had up. I'm just getting like little bitty sites, and one site was trying to charge for me to get an appellation. I was like, what?
No. Well, I'm look right here. Blackfoot Indian names, Native Indian tribes. Let me see here.
Yeah, because when you click, if you click on it, it won't be much. Yeah, see, so you scroll down right there. It's not many there.
List of Blackfoot names for girls.
Yeah, but it's not many. Like you don't have many to choose from. Like
That's why you have to keep looking. Let's see, Siksika Blackfoot. Okay, submitted names. You can go Siksika female names.
It's gonna take you back to the same thing. It's been doing me like that for like 4 days. I've been trying to do it without having to really ask you about it, but I'm struggling. Okay,
Siksika translation of English names into Blackfeet Indian names.
Yep, that's what I've been getting. And if you click on it, it's just, that's all I've been getting. See?
Okay.
I've been there too. That's the site that'll charge you right there.
Okay, well then there is Native American girl names. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, 170 Indigenous Native American girl names with meanings. That sounds really nice. 170. Isn't that enough?
That's enough. Wow.
Okay, Adsilla, that's Blossom, Iroquois. Whoa, hold on a second here. Okay, where are we at here? Okay. Gender, Native American for feather on the head. Pheasant, Bina, she is Spirit Katori.
Because my family came from the Canada, Montana. Came down from there.
Montana, that would be Siksika.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Okari, Polecat. So I'll put this one in here.
Okay.
And then let me put another one in here. Okay, so I'll put a link in. Female.
Chief, I just sent you a link and that you may be talking about.
That maybe that's the one. Okay.
The 2000, I think that's it. Thank you, Sa. Yeah, I think so because
That was the one I think I mentioned that was like 20,000.
Yes, that's it right there.
Okay, get it? Well, it's hot.
Thank you. If you could do it, thank you. Thank you, Sa.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, so I think that, okay, so I got all the questions. Yeah, let Jeremy Winston on. Let him on.
Wah, wah.
I'm giving everybody the opportunity to ask questions. So I've got all the questions in the chat done. So we covered that. I think we've covered quite a fair amount. I just wanted to see if there's anything here I wanted to bring up. Okay, we did religious instruction, racism. Okay, we did what's called an autochthon treatise. And this autochthon treatise, volume 2, I wrote this a few years back. And this treatise has definitions. You're going to be doing a lot of reading. So I want people to know if reading is not one of your strong suits, you need to work on that, because that's the key to a lot of the trickery going on. So I'll give you a prime example. Let's see, where is he? Yeah, this is the, what's his name? Boyce Watkins. This fraud contract that he's just trying to trick people. You got to watch these cats. Okay, let's see here. I put it on my Calameo. Okay, good. So I can put the pictures up here. Okay, this is Boyce Watkins' intellectual chocolate request to be interviewed form. So this guy's trying to steal your intellectual property. He's a damn crook. So when I went to the form and said, why do you want to appear as a guest on Intellectual Chocolate? Please provide URLs for any other interviews that you have done with other media outlets. Ask where you were from. Do you have an advanced degree? What projects are you currently working on, and who does it impact? What are the benefits? How are you planning to impact the world around you? Oh, okay, I switched it over, everyone. Okay. Where is it? Were you referred? If yes, by who? Then effective as of the date signed, approval for past use and permission for present and future use is being granted to Boyce Watkins Enterprises, LLC, to use a picture, video, or notice recording. Permission is being given to BWE, that's Boyce Watkins Enterprises.
You done take off your shirt already. The chief talk about
By the undersigned, the recorded party is more fully explained in this consent and release. For valuable consideration, receipt of which is hereby acknowledged, the undersigned hereby grants to BWE, its agents, employees, licensees, and successors in interest collectively, the released party, all ownership rights and the absolute and irrevocable right and permission to copyright, use, and publish the recorded image and or voice, the image, video, and or voice that has been or is being obtained pursuant to this consent and release. So now I'm going to skip down. This is the crazy one. The undersigned waives any right that the undersigned may have to inspect or approve the released parties, that would be Boyce Watkins and business partners, use of the image, video, and or voice, or the advertising copy or printed matter that may be used in connection with the use and or publication of the image, video, and or voice. The undersigned releases the release party and all persons acting under its permission or authority from all claims for libel, slander, invasion of privacy, infringement of copyright or right of publicity, or any other claim related to the image, video, and or voice, collectively claims. This release includes without limitation any claims related to blurring, distortion, alteration, optical illusion, digital alteration, use in composite form, whether intentional or otherwise, or use of a fictitious name that may occur or be produced in the processing or publication of the image and or voice, initial below. The undersigned warrants that the undersigned has read this consent and release prior to the electronic signing of this document, that the undersigned understands it, and that the undersigned freely enters into this consent and release, initial below. So this guy's tricking people into, you know, handing their projects over. So these are the type of people you have to call out: him, Cornell West, Malik Shabazz, etc. And that's why it is important. You're going to read on this level. I'm telling you right now, you come on the webinar, you're going to read. When you graduate into training, you're going to read. Everything you're going to have to read. That's how they're getting you, because they know black people don't read. Let's see here. Speak like that. Oh, hold on a second. Mom Junction. Yeah, for some reason that Mom Junction didn't come in. I'll just resend it again. Okay, good. So everybody has it. Okay. Okay, Zahuti Ray, if you're on, can you turn your microphone on? Zahuti Ray, if you're there, can you turn your microphone on? Okay, if not, we'll go to Hasina. If you hear me, Tootie Ray, just turn it on. I'll get to you in a sec then. Are you there?
Yeah, greetings.
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 How you doing, gal?
I'm good. Okay, Chief.
Yes.
Question number one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so your name is Chief Nanya Shabu Il, right? But I heard you had an animal name. I mentioned that already. I think I'm going to heard it on a video. Your name is Brown Eyes Hawk, right?
Yes.
I think, right. So I was wondering, how do you go about getting an animal name or finding out what is your spirit animal?
Okay, I picked it.
You picked it?
Yes, I picked it myself.
Okay. So we could pick it. I can pick one.
You're God, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, so next question, right? Okay, so as indigenous people, do we need like passport to travel abroad?
Okay. Passports are for dead people. However, because of the current setup, we're forced to do commerce.
Okay.
So you get a passport from Trinidad, yeah, get the passport. These are the issues I'm fighting with internationally, because countries are connected with what's called IATA. That's IATA, that's the International Authority on Travel Association. So they recognize the countries that have the different passports and different things. So for convenience sake, fine, you use the Trinidad passport. That does not make you a Trinidad citizen. They'll say it does, but that you're saying, hey, it's all caps and you're forcing me. We have a right to travel without the passport, but they're forcing us to do this. So this is the hypocrisy that we point out, that, okay, if you say we can travel, we can cross borders, why do we need passports? Nobody at the UN, the UN expert mechanism on the rights of indigenous peoples, the special rapporteur on indigenous people, no, they're not answering these questions. Like, how does, it's like this, when you have animals, cougars, bears, whatever, that you have in Trinidad, they go where they want to. They don't have to get someone's permission.
Right.
And the first thing they'll tell you, oh, well, they're under natural law animal. They don't have to get permission. So then if we're supposed to be highest on the food chain, why is it that we have to get passports to move? And then the next thing is public officials. If a representative from Trinidad and Tobago who's a diplomat goes someplace, they have what's called diplomatic immunity in another country, and that country has a political agreement with Trinidad and Tobago. So now the concern is they're supposed to be considered public servants, meaning they work for you, right?
Okay.
So how come they have diplomatic immunity, but you don't? Do you see the game?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be working for you. So if they're working for you, you see, and we're creating a precedent here by bringing this up now. If they're a public official working for the public, why are they, and they're part of the government, if the government's supposed to work for you, how come they get immunity, you don't?
Yeah, they might.
You know why? You know why? Because people aren't paying attention to the word govern. Govern means direct. So your government is actually your overseer. And they answer to who? The international bankers. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, Chief.
So that means that is fraud being committed on the public by public officials telling you, girl, vote for me when I get into legislation. I go vote for this guy. Then when they get in, what's the first thing they have to do? They got to swear oath to Elizabeth. They can't sit in the legislature.
It's true.
To her. Right? Now, some of them may not even know that until they've won the election. And then they say, no, you have to take this oath here first to Elizabeth. Then that means voting was fraud because they did not disclose. Or if, let's say they won and they became an incumbent and came back the following year, and when their term was up and won again, the second time around, they're supposed to tell the public when they're campaigning to get in the second time that they have to take Elizabeth, but they don't tell the public. The public doesn't answer, ask them. So therefore, the public, by their tacit consent or their acquiescence, they agree that they are allowing the fraud to continue. So that falls on who? The public, because the public should have or ought to have done their due diligence. Understand?
Right. Okay. Chief.
Yes.
You hear me? Okay, I have two questions, right? But these two questions I'm asking you is well, my mate is an Nuapian right now, right? So we at loggerheads with how are you going on your indigenous standing, right? He's not on that the indigenous standing, right? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear me, right? Yeah, so my mate is Nuapian, right? But we're not seeing eye to eye on this topic, right? Because I for the indigenous standing process, he's against it, right? My mate, right?
Yes. So, I'm here.
Asking this question. One of the question was he said that you heard me?
Yeah, you said you and your mate aren't seeing eye to eye on him coming on the webinar and the Indigenous standing process. Go ahead. I think they're starting to chop you all up.
Chief, you know him.
Huh?
I'm in the starting to chop me up.
Chief, you know him.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
All right, Chief, you hear me? You hear me, right,
Yes, I
Chief?
hear you.
Yes. You hear me? Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
All right, so he good is indigenous, and he's the person that for all Nuapians.
Say what?
She internet and
Oh,
strong.
could you hear the question?
You said your mate and you aren't seeing eye to eye, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
So what he is saying is that he don't need to do the go to the indigenous standing because he said that Chief Thunderbird Eagle is indigenous, right? And he will vouch for all Nuapians. So that means he automatically indigenous. So what I was telling him is that, you know, right? So that is what he say.
That's fine. He can do. I accept that for value and consideration. Eternally. So let him go.
All right. So Chief, next question, right? I think Nuapian assassin he put up some video where he's saying that you cannot travel to the US. You hearing me?
Yeah, I hear you. And he's saying that I can't what?
All right, so that you cannot travel to the US. That is what the Nuapian saying, and that is what also my mate telling me now you can't travel. But I told him, indigenous people, the whole planet is yours because you are indigenous, so nobody can ban you from no US.
Yeah, and the United States.
You heard that?
The United States Corporation is in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So if they're talking about the corporate overlay on Turtle Island, oh yeah, I can. Like I said, I mean, the bigger thing is, what does my travel or this kidnapping and the smuggling have to do with the fact that they can't, that he's still black?
True.
I said, I got reports,
Oh, okay.
we have all that. That's my issue. Why is he concerned about that? So he's saying, oh, if I'm not in Southern Turtle Island, I'm not indigenous. That doesn't mean anything? No, that don't
Right.
mean, if anything, it proves that. I wrote Elizabeth II. She knows about it. I have Amorites that are using some of my documents in their court cases and are getting remedy, and in their commercial issues and getting remedy. I seek my own. I came to my own, and my own receiveth me not, but as many of my own that do receive me, I give them the power to be white and indigenous.
Right. Okay. So here, okay. So my last question is this. Okay. Well, I've been a Nuapian all my life, right? But I've never seen a Nuapian wedding, right? But I saw your wedding on Sarah wedding on YouTube, right? Hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Right. Right. So I've never seen a Nuapian wedding, but for the first time I have seen a tribal wedding was when you put up your wedding with Sarah. Right?
Where I put up what?
Your wedding with Sarah. Remember that video? I think your wedding ceremony with Sarah on that YouTube video.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well. Right. What I would like to say, congratulations on two of you all.
Much appreciated. Appreciate that.
But yeah, that's Chief.
That was last
Chief,
November.
but the last comment though,
Much appreciated.
Chief, but yeah, what, they don't have anything saying you may kiss the bride, because I noticed you all did not kiss it, have nothing like that in the tribal wedding.
That we didn't have what?
I noticed you all didn't kiss, other the Caucasian or Lebanese wedding just have you may kiss the bride. The tribal weddings don't have those things.
Hey, we do what we we're indigenous.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. We do what we want. We're indigenous. We can do as we do.
I see you was gonna have the chief when I'm married, but a second time I say that probably that when you're gonna have the chief.
You had a question here, Hasina, where you said
That's my mom. Hold on, can you talk?
that's your mother's question.
Right? Yeah.
Do I sign as white without the indigenous standing documents whilst in the process of going through it? If you're applying for a job, yes, you can check off white. Don't worry about that. This is for whatever. If you've established a contract already, you can't change that without the SF-181. But if you're doing something new, going to school, going to a job, they're going to accept the application, whatever it is. They're not going to question you on that. Or you're not going to have an issue because you signed the contract. Now, if you say, oh, you made a mistake, you checked off white here. No, that's not a mistake. I'm white or Caucasian. Yes, you can check that off. So you don't have to worry about that. So you can start checking off white. You can even sign UCC 1-308, all rights reserved. I don't have the code yet for Trinidad and Tobago. So we've got Kiran and Ahmed and them are going to be looking for what the code is. Find what the UCC is, and once you find that, but in the meantime, you can use UCC 1-308. All right?
Yes, because yes. But this one thing, because an incident happened, right, with this man had he came on my work and
I can't hear you. They're chopping you up.
he had an incident. Okay, a fella came on my work, right? Chief?
No, yeah, I'm here. They're chopping you
Right,
up.
yes. Right, a fella came. A customer came on my work, right?
Uh-huh.
Your network. Oh, put your battery. Who's battery? Network. Yeah. Right, and he ended up going to the police station because he had a car incident, right? And they asked him to sign. They asked him what race he belongs to, right? So he found that was well rude of them because he found they should look at him and know he's black. So he was well annoyed at the question, you know, when they asked him, and they asked him it again, you understand? So he found obviously, I said, what you mean I know that I'm black? You know, yeah, what color his skin is. Right, they asked him what color his skin is. But color he's seen a black this time, because he finds this is the first time that happened to him. So I said, well, like it reached now, we understand when they asked us like what race and, you know, yeah. Or maybe we're more aware of it.
Yes, because we're international. A lot of our videos were in South Africa. Somebody went and took Nanya Akiwel's videos on his YouTube page and put them all in HD in South Africa. This was around the time they went down to South Africa or before they went down for the funeral for Mandela. And so when we do the analytics, Nanya Akiwel on the Bronx on Renatchwa, he will look at the analytics, and there was a time when the top 3 countries was Canada, United Kingdom, and Trinidad and Tobago. It would be the United States, Canada, the UK, Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad was always in the top 5 or top 10. So they're watching that. So now that they're doing this, again, this is affecting commerce on the planet. As long as you're on your knees contractually, they're happy with that. The moment when you stand up, the same people that was all happy, they ain't gonna like it. And you're gonna get more resistance from black people because that means they know they're a slave. They know they've given up. They know they're not gonna fight this and they're mad at you because it's like you leaving them and they're stuck there. They could do the same thing you do, but they don't wanna do it because they might have to lose friends, family, associates in the process. So they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. And you're like, well, you stay in the cave. I'm out. I'm going out into the meadow, and I'm living. Some of the people who are actually going through the process, some of the graduates, some of my trainees that's on here, they're actually living life for the very first time. Some are elders, some are young. The very first time, they're like, wow, this is what it's like to be white. Man.
Chief, just a point to note, as she was saying it reaching Trinidad already.
Yeah, I heard, yeah, she did say it was reaching in Trinidad. Go ahead.
My 3-year-old daughter, we went to preschool to sign her up for preschool. And in one of the ECC, the Early Childhood Care Centers, that's a government-assisted program. They have it under the Mahasabha for private plus government-assisted. They have 16 different, and I'm speaking about in Kyrie here right now, Hasina. They have 16 different categories for race and ethnicity identification. Right now, actively right now in Trinidad. Right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it reached definitely.
White power.
White power.
Chief, I have a question.
Amen. Yeah, I'm answering your question right now about the flag.
Fine, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
So you see it right here?
Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, so your question was why no top of the pyramid? Because it would be back in the day, there would be mounds. Right, mounds. When you look at Giza, Giza is flat. They'll put a capstone on top of it.
Yes.
Right, that's what they're going to do. Hold on, let me just see. You can place a capstone, and you look at anything, a capstone is placed on top of the pyramid.
Yes.
Now, why is it we don't have one? Because we're using it as a mound. If we want, we can place that for special occasions afterward. The pyramid that's on the back of the US dollar bill that's levitating over, that is a sign of slavery. So when people are looking at this, or the US dollar, it's a sign of slavery. That's not our pyramid. That's a symbol of slavery. What's written around here that you can see.
Yes.
Let me see here. Okay, there you go. So what you have here is, this is Pa Atsikata, the Atsikata Nation Shill of Yamasee Nuwabianat Moors. Enan, we Atha are Pa, the first.
Oh.
Enan Atha Pa Achur, we are the last. Enan Atha Pa Nehnehal, we are the eternal.
Yes.
And this is Gabla Ashed Alf. So this is before 10,000.
Ew.
So Ashid is 10, Alf 1,000.
Oh, yes. Beautiful.
And the two deities standing with their hands in
Oh, this is from Taful. What you're
Taful,
seeing
sure.
is, this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the third position from Taful or Ashutat. And this was these hand positions. You'll see these on the walls in ancient Tamaray. This is for keeping disagreeableness away from you. So if you have the Taful book, that's what that position is for. So this is a symbol of protection from disagreeableness. The circle, of course, as the circumference is complete. The male on the right, the female on the left. And if my memory serves correct, this also symbolized the areas where, when Cadman fell from grace, he had to go through the gate, east gate, and then Nikeba was through the west gate. Let me double check on that, not now, but just remind me for that in future. But that's what that was for. And so, plus you have female and male. We're the only flag on the planet, because what you see on other flags from countries are colors. That's it. And you might see a couple objects.
Yes.
Here you have the female and the male. So that's signifying we're real. We're not a color. We're not an object. We're not an instrument.
Correct.
And that is a precedent-setting flag. So when people see this flag, it's like, wow, a male and a female, and we're tying into our indigenous roots, whether it's here, Tamaray, Turtle Island, Caribbean, what have you.
That's correct. Ooh. Wonderful, Chief.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
Let's see here. Vincent. Oh, you asked me about that question from the Pope's letter to Obama.
Yes, I am, Chief. Greetings. I also emailed it to you. I made a Word document out of it.
Okay.
And
I'm familiar with that letter that the Pope supposedly wrote Barack.
Okay.
The issue I have with that, it's not on letterhead.
Okay.
It's not people letterhead. It was in a blog someplace, and I'm like, no, I'm not buying that. Oh, wow, I see all these people wanting requests for access. Okay, I'm opening the share settings for you all that wanted the video. Much appreciation to Vince. He was the one who sent me the video. So everyone give gratitude and appreciation to Vince. Right, that's who I'm speaking with right now. He's the one who sent the video of the Chinese geneticist acknowledging that the Chinese came from the dark-skinned Africans, or the Africans. So he acknowledged, so we are their ancestors, whether they like it or not. So I'm just clicking that up for everybody. But when you see those type of things where they say, oh, the Pope wrote so-and-so and such, if it's not signed, if it's not on official letterhead, if it's not in at least, let's say, a verifiable email or a video where he's actually making reference to that, I don't accept that. I don't believe it. It could have happened on the private side, but to me, that's not significant enough. I'll stick with Barack's, with Pope Francis's statement about apologizing, because that's verifiable through a news outlet. And Barack said the word black has no standing at law. So I don't have to hear nothing Barack really got to say. This is a global standard, and this is why we're wanting the UN to answer these questions, which they probably won't, in which case now you all know what the solution is.
Understood.
Understood?
Understood.
All right. Tihuti, the promise. Oh, yeah, that's that letter. No, I'm not buying that. Yeah, that's not buying that. Okay. So that is it. So I think that I have pretty much covered everything. If anybody has something, please put it in the chat before we finish up. We've been doing this. This will be like probably the, this will be like almost the longest one I ever did was 6 hours. That was weekly address number 29. So we're gonna have, this is being recorded. Once I get the message that it's down from the cloud, we'll send this out to everybody, and I'll put it on YouTube. And I do give universal consent, if you guys have a YouTube page, to put it up on your YouTube pages. You have to, all of you all got to realize this. We have to start coming forward and saying that. And that, even if that means you got to separate yourself from your family, so be it. I already read you about the religious instruction of the Negro. So they want that. That's a dulling effect to cause them to not want to break free from Massa. That's why they always like to put black Christian reverends and put them up there, and all these, they're meeting with Trump. These guys, they're about keeping you all in bondage, not interested in revealing it. And of course, the UN knows this, because I've showed you some of the reports and the questionnaires and whatnot that I have done. So it is very important. We have to tell the world we're indigenous now, not next week, not next month, now. Key, call yourself white. You say white power. If people are saying, what do you mean by that? Then make sure you know the definition of what white is. We tell the world that we're white. We're going to change that. Now they're pushing hard via the Black Panther movie and other things going on. They're pushing hard to keep it black, because that is what they need to keep the system or this matrix going. They have to have you all acting as batteries, which makes you an unending source of energy until you translate or transfer to another plane of existence. Okay, so if anybody has any last minute questions, please put them in the chat. This will be, again, you can also use this, you know, if you have any legal issues, but of course you got to notify me first before you do. Don't sit there, call me, I got to go to the court tomorrow, and I already submitted it. You got to tell me in advance so we can put the proper preparations in there. You can't be incompetent. You have to demonstrate competency on this level. When you're fighting them, they're going to look for you being incompetent as a justification to shut you down. So if you don't know, say you don't know. If you're not sure, say you're unsure. The less you say, the better. Don't volunteer that which you don't know or which shouldn't be volunteered. Okay? So yeah. So yes, so we have documentation that's at the Vatican, at the UN. I did write the State Department, so they're aware. So Atsakata is out there, and that's why it seems to take a while in terms of growth, because you're so entrenched in these contracts that we have to counterclaim your past because it's affecting your present. And they're using that as a justification in the future. So you see how they're trying to get DNA and all this, waive all your rights in the future to try to trap or enslave you or your DNA progeny in the future. So we have this moment right now in this present to shatter all of it. And it starts by you calling yourself white. When you call yourself white, that's it. The game's over. They can't deal with it. They won't even respond because that's part of the program of white. White is not to be questioned. Not white cannot be challenged. And you make sure you call them lepers because that's what they are. Kiran, you said, have you seen the series called Ancient Aliens? No, I haven't seen the series called Ancient Aliens, so I don't know what it's about.
Oh, okay. Right. Because I've been taking it in for a little while. It seems to me now that they're almost pushing something like a alien awareness program on the planet now.
Well, they've been pushing alien invasion since like the mid-90s, early 2000s. And the Vatican knows about Nibiru. The U.S. government knows about Nibiru. So the concern is, and they know that the Anunnaki are coming back because what they did was they triggered an alarm, if you will, on the planet that went back to the Orion star constellation. They found an underwater pyramid off the coast of Florida, which had a capstone resting on it. So they took it off, brought the capstone to a military base. This was reported by the Russians, and they took it to a military base out in Colorado. I think either Colorado or, I think it was Colorado. Maybe Arizona, but I think it was Colorado. And what happened was there was a story that came out that a military base was locked down, that a colonel locked down a military base. Nobody could get on and nobody could leave. And the reason it was locked down was because the capstone that they had pulled from the pyramid by the Navy SEALs took it from Florida. That capstone released a gamma burst, and that gamma burst was the largest on-Earth gamma burst ever recorded. And a Russian satellite going over U.S. airspace noticed that and they said the direction that the gamma burst went was to the Orion star constellation.
Whoa.
So they said it sounds like there was a planetary, what you would call a, they called it a early warning system.
All right.
So whoever created the pyramid when the water was lower, put the capstone there for a reason and left it there. They came and moved it. So then the capstone was already geared to Orion, regardless where on the planet. So if that means they took it out the water, it would shoot that, oh, they moved the capstone. So whoever put the capstone there said, they moved it. So whoever is on Orion star constellation is coming this way.
Right.
So then they had to lock down the military base because that gamma radiation, we have protection against ultraviolet, but not gamma. So that was a problem. And then on top of that, that's just the one aspect. So that created a problem like, well, why did this gamma burst? What's the purpose? What's going on? Then there's another issue going on with the Syrians that are living in the Atlantic Ocean. Those beings, underwater beings, Syrians that came from Maldek, they're actually at war with the U.S. Navy. And the U.S. Navy is at war with them. They're not talking about it. Discovery did a documentary on beings underneath the water that are fighting. And they actually have the skeletons. The top half is human. The bottom half is a fish, like a fishtail. And then they have some type of a spear. They actually found that. We mean actual recordings with probes they sent in the water. They said, what is this being that's swimming underneath the water?
Yeah, because it almost seems as if it have a certain frequency running right now that on that vibe now. You're picking it up through the vibrations on the planet. You see all this because they're running around on the same series and they're touching stuff that I think only now they started. I think they know what it is about, but only now they just started.
Yes, it's about the Anunnaki coming. Once they come, they had a meeting about 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was around 2013. where they had all the business, what do you call it? The business companies, all these big corporations had a business meeting regarding the existence of aliens and saying, we have to start dealing with the reality that aliens exist, and how is this going to affect business? Because the aliens are bringing what? Free energy, right? And they said a lot of the discoveries, people are discovering free energy. Hydrogen is in another form other than H2O. And now there's cars, guys are creating cars that run on water. You don't even need gasoline. You don't even need oil. They're turning around and locking the technology up in vaults so it does not get released, because that means you could drive from one end of Trinidad to the next, or people if they have those type of ferries that you could bring your car over to Venezuela, then you could drive all through South America. The only thing you need is just to find some water and you could drive the car. That puts what's their names out of business. That puts Standard Oil, Shell Oil, Royal Dutch Shell, all of these guys are out of business immediately.
Definitely.
The next problem that came up is they talked about teleportation. They said teleportation is starting to come because, of course, they're messing around with the CERN.
The Hadron Collider in Geneva, Switzerland.
Yes, and they said that teleportation is going to, some guy from the future is saying, yeah, there's going to be teleportation, or some channel entity said teleportation is going to start becoming real, and the government is aware of it, because then the problem is you'll be able to teleport. So if guys get locked up, they'll just teleport themselves out of jail. How are you going to keep them locked up? And then you could travel anywhere you want on the planet. You're not going to need no car. You're not going to need gas. You're not going to need airplanes. They talked about all the businesses that go out of business if you learn how to teleport. And they said that that's what's going to start happening. Now, I'm saying speculation. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying speculation. But obviously, they're concerned that if you all start learning how to teleport, start using your higher senses, this system is done. Done.
Correct.
Total.
Now, you start doing what? Higher, nobler, and honorable things.
Yeah.
You don't abuse the power.
So you have the Amorites that like things the way they are, thanks to what's his name on Nibiru News, said he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
So this is why they know about it. So the Vatican knows about Nibiru, and they know about the Nibiruans, the Nibiruan Council, the Nibiruans coming. What's the problem now? They're not going to have control over the people. So now they have to start getting into science to try to create some type of an existence. They got to change. Now they want to embrace science. But science proves that there is no God. Science proves there's energy that's at the source of creation. That's why they called it, we want to find the God particle. God is religion, particle deals with science. Why are they trying to link it? Because people are seeing through religion and know it's garbage, it's nonsense. If anything, you might as well call it psychological programming. Because it has no foundation. You can't, here's the case in point. The Vatican, Pope Francis said, no, not Pope Francis, Pope Benedict.
Benedict.
We don't know what year Jesus was born. We don't know what city he was born in. We don't know time of the year he was born in. So if you're basing your existence on a man you say is the Son of God and then God, and now you don't know when he was born, then you're not getting truth. You're getting a lie, which means everything else after that is built on that is a lie.
Correct.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's see here. Where are we at here? Okay, Gregory. They had a guy that made a helicopter that could fly off of radio waves alone. The guy that made the car that runs off of water, they end up killing. I thought, is this true? They want to control all of the energy. Free energy equals free movement. Like in Florida, they had people that were living in a community that was all self-sustaining. They unplugged their houses off the energy grid. They came down with guns, whether it was I think it was the FBI or the states, and told them, no, you're gonna hook this house back up to the grid. You're not coming off the grid. That's the best example of the matrix.
I can't remember the name of that metal they used, but this guy, he made a pyramid out of it. He put a light bulb in there and the light turned on. It's a specific metal that he used for that helicopter as well, too.
need to find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it and I'll bring that forth, whatnot, because the brother, he was making YouTube videos, but he had to take those YouTube videos down because they didn't want people knowing that information.
Maybe they took them down. I did when Warren Buffett did back in 2009 on NBC Squawk Box, and he said that the US dollar would become worthless. I had about 20 videos up at the time, so I did an acceptance for value on Warren Buffett's statement that the US dollar would be worthless. YouTube took down all 22 videos immediately after I did that accepted for value.
Mm-hmm.
Then Warren Buffett came back and said, I didn't say that the US dollar would be worthless. Ha ha ha. I said it would be worth less.
Wow. All right, Chief.
All right, much appreciated. And who knew? Thank you for sending me that email link about that, about the series that Corona's talking about.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, so I'll check. I will definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's a long running series. It's 12 or 13 season now.
Okay, well, I definitely got to check that out.
We want 12 before.
You can start on 12. That way they get into the good stuff on the side of interfere with our ancestors.
Wow, okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So I think that I've pretty much covered everything that what Hata is doing, what we're about, what we're doing, what we all have to do as autochthones on this planet, that we have to tell everybody that we are white, we're indigenous, get on some of these call shows where they say call in and just sit. I mean, it doesn't get any more simpler than that. Are you going to tell black people they're white and that anybody who doesn't have dark skin is a mutation? So once you can do that, great. And of course, make sure you record it, because I'm sure we will be able to use that, because that does have an effect in the courts that will work with the way they have this court system set up, because that means we have to start now bringing science into the legal aspect. We already got the spiritual aspect. We already got the commercial aspect. Now, when we start bringing science in, that's your pyramid. Because what they do for in the book, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, they look at economics, electricity, and mathematics. Those are the three. So we have to use what? Spirituality, the commerce, and the science. All right. So that should be all. This is going to be fabulous. Everyone's going to get a copy. Anna Kono, you're in Belgium. You have nothing to say? You good? You good over in Belgium? Everything's cool? Hold on. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said you're in Belgium. We want you because we want people to know that, you know, we're worldwide. We're talking with people worldwide who've done their SF-121. So you have nothing to say? You just waiting until you hear the asylum response? You quiet?
I'm waiting and getting ready to do my UCC, and I'm preparing also the commercial dishonor. And I've spoken here with some Africans, but most of them speak French. So there were 3 or 4 of them that wanted to sit in, but it was so noisy in here that they couldn't follow it. So
okay.
We had to spread.
Okay, I got you. I got you. All right, so
it's what I'm gonna do here. It's gonna be huge, because the Netherlands basically is now starting to understand what they have done. I've spoken to the court in the Netherlands, and they told me like, oh well, you're not allowed to send in documents by yourself. You cannot. You have it through a lawyer. And I said, well, I'm doing it in propria persona. And she said, well, you cannot do that. And there's no law that says. I said, yes, there is. I said, legistum secundum. And when I mentioned that, she just shut up. So I told her, they told me, no, I'm going to send back the documents, and all the documents that you sent in, we're going to send them back. Give me an address. I said, yes, I'll give you an address. But I've already sent you 2 emails informing you where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
always ask. Anytime they say you can't do that or you need a lawyer, show me the law, and 9 times or 10 times out of 10, their throat gets jacked because they're following what?
Yep.
Procedure. They don't really know law. They know procedure.
Yes. So they were. She just stopped speaking when I told her that.
She had enough sense to know, anything beyond that, I'm now outside of my limited liability, ultra vires.
Yes. And then when I asked her for the QSIP and bond number, she was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh." And I don't have no patience with it.
Yeah, you gotta learn. Patience is one thing because sometimes they really don't know. They're just following. They go to work, do what their supervisor tells them. They're oblivious to the law. They're oblivious to.
Oh, she knew. She knew. She was just being sarcastic. Like,
there you go.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, I said, I bet you don't.
All right, so keep us informed. So next Tuesday is the day for you and the decision, right? Next Tuesday?
I'm not sure if the 14th they're going to make a decision, but I hope so.
Okay. Well, I know yours has been expedited faster than normal. I think yours was a precedent. They said nobody has ever been told, "Oh, we got a decision." So I'm like, yeah, because if they wanted to say no, they could have. So I was like, oh yeah, they don't have to do that. So great. So this is fantastic. All right, all white. Okay, muchas gracias. Gadur.
Poder blanco.
All right, everyone. So again, this is fabulous. We're going to send this out to everybody. Everyone will have a copy. And I appreciate everybody coming out. We did quite a long ways. I know it's late. Some of y'all have been here all day. Some of y'all was at work, in and out, ducking in and out of work. I let it play at the job. Okay, I let it play. So at least when they come back to the desk, okay, yeah, it's still playing. I just turned the volume down. That's all I did. So that's fantastic. Again, we have we got our Indigenous Standing Process on Monday. If you have not been on it, send an email to NicoleNicholas90@gmail.com to get on. We will also be having, again, we have copies of that happening. We also have our flag, and we got flags for sale, so you can inquire there about getting our flags. We have our clocks and calendars as well, which are up. We have that as well. So contact us about getting your hands on our clocks and our flags, because we have to have our own time system in order to see things. You can't You can't operate on a 666 and expect to get free. You have to be able to know what is your day and time, when you need to move, when you need to be in tune with natural time and natural law. Last thing, there are some of you who have submitted music, like you, Nitter Nafu, and other people who have done Sapphire have done music. I want to have a meeting with you all probably in a couple weeks, and we're going to put together an album of Indigenous singers, musicians, etc. And we want to do the same concept of putting it together, uploading it. People can, that's the game. You do a $1 download and that's it. And we'll start pushing that. So we'll have a album of Turtle Island music, and we don't have to do it the way they're doing. We can do it old style, when you used to have 15 or 20 songs on a record.
Correct.
Okay, so I have your phone number, Nitter Nafu, and so you, yourself, Sapphire, and there's some others who have supplied music, so we're going to get in touch with you all, and we'll put that together. All right, so everyone else, much appreciated for everybody being here. Enjoy the rest of your Indigenous Day. This is the UN International Day for the World's Indigenous Peoples, and tell the world you're Indigenous on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on MySpace, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. Tell the world you're Indigenous. The more we keep saying we're Indigenous and we're white, and we're white and we're Indigenous, and Indigenous and white and white and Indigenous. White power.
A beautiful tour, beautiful tour.
Man, it was nice.
Not too large up.
Don't know that, man.
Saino T. Poder Blanco.
Pablo Blanco. A beautiful tour.
Yeah, amen. Blessings, man.
Amen, amen, amen.
Power.
Change it.
Yeah, baby.
Put on the song.
White power.
Great, beautiful.
Oh, this is great.
That's just how we do it.
Yes.
Good tour.
Beautiful tour. Pablo Blanco.
World though. Let the world know.
You can do it, family.
Tour.
You do.
Beautiful relation. Indigenous up.
Get them up.
I'll call you.
May the guardians protect us all. Yeah, for sure.
Gador, Mansa Musa.
Tour.
Abid Gador and a Kauna.
Abid Gador.
From Kaiwa. Mansa Musa.
Turtle Island.
Where are you, Kiran?
We ain't Kairi. That's Miss Numa Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad, Tobago, my goodness. That Lord's Castle down there, yeah.
What's that?
Sam Lord's Castle down there. What's that? Christchurch.
Sam Lodge.
My grandfather's from Barbados.
From Barbados now. Barbados is a little couple miles over the sea from us.
That's okay. I can run on water.
White power.
White power.
White power. Gador.
White power.
Yes.
All over.
That's right. Galaxy wide.
Tutsunania Rudarai LL. Where you from?
I'm from this place called Georgia. Here on Turtle Island.
Turtle Island.
Right?
Turtle Island up.
Alabama on Turtle Island.
Yeah, everybody link up on that deity page on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
For sure. Yeah, just friend me.
Niterna Food, the artist. We have some stuff to talk about.
Bro, back. Yeah, man.
Beautiful,
Tua.
Ivory Watson, where you from? From where? From New York, from Renashua.
I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Oh. All right.
North Cac.
I mean, I know where you're
You
from.
do
All
it.
right.